Working in the defence industry is something to be proud of, really. It's not that, it's the skills that you're gaining through working in that sort of industry. So the skill set within the defence industry is just massive, going from, like you said, building aeroplanes to building cars. There's so many different skills that are needed within it. It's massive, really, and it's such a great place to work, because with new technology's changing all the time, so every day is different when you're working in that sort of industry. When I told people I was going to apply for apprenticeship, a lot of people said, no, don't do that, you're too clever to do that sort of thing. Apprenticeship's not the way to go in order to get a good career. Whereas obviously proving them wrong now, because I'm in a full-time career, my company's paying for my degree, and I'm getting all the same qualifications as someone who was at university, but I've got all the experience, and I'm coming at my time work ready as well, so I've got the skills to now apply them in the workplace. And it does also help with education as well, because you're actually working and you're putting the education into practical use, which helps you a lot with getting better grades in your actual qualification. I've been back into my old school, and they've never been as proud. They're promoting apprenticeships now, so it is changing the perception a bit, but it seems like it's only changing the perception because they've seen somebody who's done it. So I think going out there promoting apprenticeships, promoting my successes, is going to have an effect, hopefully, on a lot of people, which will then take it back to their companies, back to their schools, back to the sons, the daughters, and hopefully change the stereotype of apprenticeships and get a lot more people into them, and therefore getting a lot more people into our defence industry and keeping the skill set within the UK. A lot of skills within engineering you can't really get taught by writing down on a piece of paper, so it's all about working with the people who've done it for years. So as part of my apprenticeship, you go around placements 6 months, so I spend 6 months time working with an experienced technician, or maybe a process engineer or operator who then teach me everything that you need to know about how to do it, how such a skill comes about, which you wouldn't get if you was just going to university. So coming out of university and walking into a job, that skill hasn't been passed from university. In order to get that skill, you've got to learn it from somebody else who's been there. The core skills, what you need to know before you can start to elaborate on all of the other stuff. Yes, obviously when working at MBDA Lostock, especially with the apprentice recruitment, we recruit within 10 miles radius around us, so all of our recruitment comes from home, comes from local schools. We have great links with local schools to get the young people in, and not only that, obviously it's quite family orientated as well, so there are some people who have family who work there, and it's actually quite a nice environment to be involved in. I just see it as a great opportunity. I'm learning great skills, I'm getting new technology every day. I'm not actually being the person to see the end product be fired. So in my eyes, it's learning them skills and becoming a part of building something that's actually going to be useful. The defence industry is sort of part of a family, because you're all working in the same you're all in the same boat when it comes to people who might be against it. But you've just got to say we're here to defend our country. It's a need and it's a requirement. It's not just a job, it's a career at the end of the day. So you're not just going into a job thinking, oh, I'll work there for 2 years. You're going into MBDA and you're going to work there for life. It's a job for life. You're gaining skills that, they're transferable into other industries, but you're within the defence industry. You're learning those specific skills to that. You're in this job as a career. You can progress through it. We have global companies. It depends on what you want to do. You could travel, you can almost do everything within the same industry, so you'd never really look elsewhere. It's like I say, it's a career, not just a job. I know, for instance, someone I know went from the defence industry into like the chemical makeup industry, and it's a totally different industry, but it's so worldwide and there's so many jobs in that. So if we're never going to have a war again, but at the end of the day we're always going to need the protection, so we're never not really going to have a war. But so it's the technologies that we're creating and we're learning are used almost in nearly all industries, really, just in a different kind of way. So, like I said, going from defence into car mechanics, something like that, we're still going to be building cars. So it's all the same sort of stuff, really. Yeah, I would recommend the apprenticeship scheme 100%. It's like I say, it's the best thing that I've ever done, the best decision I ever made with my life, because I'm still getting my degree. It might have took a few more years, but I've got all the experience. I've been paid all the time. I'm in no debt whatsoever. I think, to be honest, it's the modern way of going about getting a career nowadays, and it's not only that, but I am gaining the skills already to be work ready when I come out of my apprenticeship. So I've come out of my apprenticeship straight into a full-time role, and it's quicker then to progress obviously up the company. Like I mentioned in my speech, the managing director used to be an apprentice, so there's all that ambition there that you could be the next managing director. It's not seen as in the defence industry and engineering industry, apprenticeships are not really seen as the bad route into doing it, so it's more the more preferred route really. So if you're thinking of going into the defence industry, 100% apprenticeship's the way forward, I think. At 100% I'm a STEM ambassador, and like obviously not only for apprenticeships but for science, engineering, maths, keeping that within the UK as well, and I think that's really important. And I think who better to speak to young people than young people themselves. I can have a real influence because I'm actually here doing it at this time, so instead of somebody speaking about what they might have done 30 years ago and it might not really be the same, I'm actually experiencing it right now, and I think that's such a massive effect on young people. Not only that, but it's helping me a lot as well, because I find it rewarding when you do know that you've had an effect on somebody else. So there was a young girl who wasn't interested in engineering. She just came and talked to me at this career fair. She was there with her brother. It wasn't her who was interested. She started asking me what I did, and I said, oh, I'm an engineer. And she said, you're an engineer? You've got nice nails, you've got nice hair, you're not in dirty overalls. I said, I know I'm not, because what I do is so minuscule. We're working under microscopes, working in a clean room. It's so clinical, so diverse. And then I let her have a go at soldering a circuit board, obviously under microscope. And as she walked away, she actually said to her brother, like, I want to be an engineer. And she was only young, but just having that was rewarding for me, knowing that you can have that effect, and it's set in her mind that in the future when she's thinking about what to do for a career, she'll know that it is an option, and it could be the way that's doing. So having that, knowing that it is making an effect and seeing the results from the work that we do, coming to events like this is the best thing about it. And like I said, with my company, we've had a lot more females apply for the apprenticeships purely because of the work that myself and my other female apprentices as well have gone out and shown that it isn't all just for males. And not only that, but obviously just any young people are very good at apprenticeship in engineering actually is. Obviously, looking from my perspective now, having just come out of my time, I'm seeing a really bright future with what I'm doing and what the UK defence industry has to offer. And it's great coming to events like this because you see a lot more of what is actually going on and what is happening. And I think it's, like I say, it's important to keep the defence within the UK, but I think like the amount of effort that's going into apprenticeships now, that we're now going to have the skill coming through in order to keep it in the UK, and that's what's important, because all the people who are retiring, hopefully knowledge transfer to the young apprentices who are coming through, and then we'll hopefully get bigger, it'll grow.
And I think for the future of the defence industry, I think apprentices are the future of the defence industry, because we're gaining all the skills to get what you need for the business. And I think apprenticeships are definitely the way forward from my experience. Thank you.